friends. Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, on today's conversation, we're going to finish up of the story about former NFL player and reality star Croy Berman, about him taking on a position outside of the league. You know, he has been um, hit with some bad financial issues. Him and his ex-wife, Kim Zolciak, of the show, the hit reality show, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Um, and it was an article I saw on TMZ about his new work position in order for him to get, to make ends meet, to get some money flowing. So I want to talk a little bit, finish up talking a little bit more about that. Also, Lonzo Ball had some tough love for his younger brother, Leangelo Ball. So we'll talk a little about that as well. And then also, this is very still very fresh news to the public. Current president Joe Biden is issuing a pardon to his son Hunter Biden. So we'll talk a little more about that, and we'll have a little more other stuff added on to the show. So again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into yet another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to follow us on social media at the Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram, on X, as well as Substack, and Threads. You can also, there's multiple ways you can tune into the program. One way is by tuning into us via podcast, wherever you get your podcast. You can also tune into the show. Let me see, what's another good way? You can also tune into the show via streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. You can also listen to us on the radio airwaves you can also tune into us on the radio airwaves on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out of the Georgia area. You can also listen to us online at WDJYFM.com. So multiple ways you can tune in. We drop new episodes weeknights, Monday through Fridays. And so just please continue to support the program, continue to spread the word about our show. We are a growing platform, and we're just here to give you just straight up news, entertainment news, sports news, and really just conversation, y'all. That's what we're here for, just conversation. So let's see, what else do we have? Before we move forward, we always like to shout out some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right, my friends. Ingenious Gin is a Black-owned, veteran-owned spirit with the unique spin of the original gin. This amazing rose gold gin is the beverage, is the spirit to enjoy during celebrations. And look, it's amazing, neat on the rocks in a cocktail. I myself am an avid bourbon and whiskey lover. I've never been a gin guy until I've had Ingenious Gin, and then they made a believer out of me. So there's only one gin that I enjoy, and that is Ingenious Gin. So do me a favor, go ahead and visit some of your local spirit stores or ABC stores and grab yourself a bottle. And if you have difficulty finding them in stores, look, visit them online at www.ingeniousgin.com. Make sure you're 21 and older. Only 21 and over is allowed to order. Please drink responsibly. Again, visit them online at www.ingeniousgin.com. If you're watching this clip right now, you see I provided a 20% off discount code at the bottom of the screen, so you can use that and you can get 20% off your purchase. You're welcome, my friends. It is the holiday season, so hey, 'tis the season to be jolly. Let's see here. Look, my friends, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your host, Arrington Gavin. Again, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. I truly appreciate it. Look, before we get going with our stories, I want to, of course, continue our tradition here on the program where we provide a quick fun fact before we get into the meat and potatoes of our conversations. Look, I want to ask you guys, did you know that actor, singer David Hasselhoff has a crab named after him? Talk about a guy that really is passionate and loves him. You know what I mean? I remember hearing uh uh, Terrell Owens said during the league, he's like, I love me some me. You gotta love you some. You gotta love yourself. I love me some me. You know, very very one of his well known phrases and lines during his spectacular career. But yeah, David Hasselhoff, the star of the hit show Baywatch, and we've seen him in other uh what, Knight Rider as well. Yeah, he has a pet crab and it's named after him. Interesting. See, I could have a pet crab. I love to eat crabs. Heavenly. So I could not have a pet crab. I could have a pet anything that I know I consume it on a regular. You know, no seafood pet, no pet pig, no pet cow, no pet chicken. I couldn't do it. That's just me, y'all. That's just me. Oh man, let me move it on. So on the last show, man, we started to we had was talking a little bit about former NFL star and reality star Croy Berman. And so he has recently been in the news, not in a good way. He's been having a really bad divorce battle, excuse me, between uh other fellow reality star Kim Zolciak, and they have had huge financial trouble. I'm talking, have losing their mansion in Atlanta or in the Georgia area. Also, just a lot, really, just a lot. And so he has taken a new business venture. He is has recently started working for a crane and rigging company. And hey, I mentioned to you earlier, or excuse me, I mentioned to you in the last show, there is no such thing as, no job is too small. An honest living is an honest living. No one should ever, judge an individual because of the position, especially if if you used to be in a high public figure status. No job is too small. There's moments, shoot, I have a part-time position, and I'm a business owner myself. I do media, I do a lot, but guess what? I know for sure that sometimes one of those periods has a slow day, and I'm like, well, at least I know I still have regular income coming in. It's playing it safe, y'all. It's playing it safe. We got to stop putting our pride and egos into a position. Like, one thing I've always shared is, when people start having the title as entrepreneur, that doesn't mean you just sit back and you let work, you let money come to you, you sit back and do nothing. No, entrepreneur means you got to work your ass off. You know what I mean? Uh, there's an actor. Oh Lord, let me try and figure out the actor's name. He was from the Cosby Show. Uh, let's see. Give me a second. Let's see. Jeffrey Owens. He played Elvin on the Cosby Show, and Jeffrey Owens. Everybody, he's a fan favorite. I mean, really, majority of those cast members on the Cosby Show were famous. It was a historic show. It still is to this day, even after all the issues that occurred with the star of the show, Bill Cosby. The show is still one of the most watched sitcoms out there, one of the most popular sitcoms. But Mr. Jeffrey Owens, a while back, he had went viral because they caught him working the cashier at Trader Joe's, and he is very much still an actor. But people like saying, "Oh my gosh, keep him in your prayers," and this and that and the other. And somebody took a photo of him, not with him noticing it. Um, and they're like, "What happened? To Jeffrey? What's going on?" And he had since then went on Good Morning America, and he said, "Look, I have no remorse, no nothing to hold back. Yes, I'm still very much an actor. Yes, I work for Trader Joe's. Acting is a hard business. Money's not guaranteed in acting. You got to keep on auditioning for roles. And look, it was slow at one point, and hey, I needed benefits, so yeah, I started working at Trader Joe's. What's the deal with that? Because of him sharing that story, because of him owning up to it, and not holding back and being upfront with people just the way everybody should. What happened? He started to receive gigs without auditioning. Tyler Perry got him a role in one of his shows. I recently saw Jeffrey Owens on the new show that's starring Damon Wayans Senior and Junior called Papa's House. So I'm glad he's very much still getting acting and getting gigs. Do I know if he still works at Trader Joe's? That I'm not sure. But one thing I highly respected about him was the fact that he did not have any uh uh issues, or was not shy enough to, didn't come up with a lie and say, "Hey, I'm working on the part, that's why I'm working at Trader Joe's." He did not say that wasn't me. He owned up to it. So now going back to uh Croy Berman, let me read this article from TMZ. It says here he's trying to rebuild his life as he goes through a messy divorce and massive financial troubles, and what better way than to work with a company that builds stadiums. Again, this is a former NFL star. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that Croy's new job is joining Superior Rigging and Erecting Company as their crane and rigging coordinator. Now, Croy oversees logistics, working hard and enhancing workflow efficiency and reducing operational bottlenecks. Translation: Croy's gone full corporate, obsessed with synergy and other white collar buzzwords. um, we're told that Croy's been working at the company, which played a role in building the State Farm Arena and Mercedes Benz Stadium in Atlanta and the Hard Rock Hotel in Hollywood, Florida, for a few months now. So we imagine he's learned the ropes of the place. Now, of course, Croy needs the 9 to 5. This is, again, reading from TMZ. It says here, of course, he needs the 9 to 5. Now that he's facing some major financial troubles with multiple companies calling in debts he and Kim Zolciak has allegedly accrued. Their mansion is also in foreclosure and going to auction very soon. I believe yeah, it's happening within this month, despite the pair slashing the price from 6 million all the way to 3.95 million. No one has taken the offer yet. So the bank is going his bank is going to get what it can from the property on that upcoming day. Now, see, he's working. You hear me? He's working a 9 to 5. Now, what is his ex-wife doing? She's going online selling Christmas trees, their Christmas trees. Uh, there's two on social media she's posted. One valued at 2,500, so 14-foot, $2,500 tree. Another one is an 8-foot, $1,700 tree, 1,750 to be exact. Um, again, when you overindulge and live above your means, when you're awful with money, and that's a pattern that occurs with the reality stars, especially the Real Housewives franchises. A lot of those cast members, they start off saying, "Oh, I live this life. I live this life. I miss such and such. I own this city. This is my city. This is my town." And then about 2, 3 seasons pass. Oh, they're in major financial trouble. They're in deep, deep doo doo when it comes to their finances. You see that stuff is all an act. It is all an act, and it's so annoying. I can't stand it because all it shows is them not working, fighting each other. Grown women, by the way, fighting each other. Drama, gossip, and that's all that it is. That's all that it is. There's nothing. It's nothing positive about that stuff. So again, I want to, and like I mentioned on the last show, and it's a beautiful, beautiful home, by the way. It's unfortunate that it had to come to that level, but um, I say this: kudos to Croy for working, for doing all he can to provide for his family. He's like, no, I'm not gonna be selling no Christmas. I'm gonna work a 9 to 5. I'm going to get the moving. You know what I mean? So I think that's very just another inspiring story, and just being upfront with the people. Let's see. Excuse me. Let me digress from that story. I want to move on to another story that I think will catch everyone's interest. Ice Cube sets the record straight about the about who played Money Mike. Wow, I definitely, let me see, it's misspelled. Have a little error there, a little grammar error. So, who played Money Mike? So, if y'all don't recall the Friday franchises, Friday, next Friday, Friday after next, all three of them are some of my favorite movies. Of course, I think the first one is my all-time favorite. Um, but Money Mike was a character played by comedian and actor Katt Williams. Now, in the beginning of 2024, uh, uh, um, there was a podcast episode of Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp's most viewed and most popular episode of all time, because Katt Williams went in on everybody. When I mean he went in on everybody, I mean the man went in on everybody. And so he had acknowledged on Club Shay Shay show that how he was given the role, Money Mike, and not Ricky Smiley, because Ricky Smiley had, and don't get me, I'm just paraphrasing here, but he had said, uh I was initially given the role Money Mike, and then I end up playing the role of the Santa Claus, the bandit. And Cat Williams was just criticizing Ricky, criticizing, like I said, everybody, Cedric Entertainer, Steve Harvey, oh my gosh, Kevin Hart. He criticized everybody, which to me was in a petty way, in my opinion. For a person to say, like, I'm here just to bring out the truth. I'm here to bring out the truth. You're here to gossip. That's what you're doing. You're gossiping. You're gossiping, and I'm trying to see where's the victory into it. Where is the victory? Did any of these people criticize you throughout their career? Did they become famous because they were criticizing you? Like, it's very Monique like. I'm trying to ease off of Monique, because I do look, I want to see everybody win. especially everybody black. I want to see everybody win. But when it comes to you use a large platform to talk about somebody, about their character, to say some really uh serious allegations, again, not responding to like anything they said about you, but it's like you're grown, dude. You're just grown. Like grow up. But anyway, Ice Cube was recently on Cam Newton's podcast. I believe it was called Funky Fridays or something like that. And they got talking about uh, the whole Money Mike thing, and how did it really go down during the Friday after next, because Money Mike was a character that Cat Williams played in the third installment on the Friday series. And it was a very known character, by the way. It was a Cat Williams played a pimp role, and it was hilarious. It's one of his all time very well known characters that everybody remembers. And so let me go ahead and play this soundbite, and then we'll talk on the other side.
We started 2024 with an aggressive call to action by way of Katt Williams. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Been very open about he was casted to play Money Mike. Money Mike. The truth of that versus Ricky Smiley says he wanted to play like.
No, what it was, we had Ricky come out before Katt. Let's see how many different roles we can audition him in and see which one pop out. So he did go for Money Mike, but he was a better Santa Claus. And then once we saw Katt, it was like he was Money Mike. It wasn't no acting that had to go down. It was like this dude right here is comedic gold. And his part was just small in the movie. As he started to get down, he's like, man, we need more Money Mike. Keep him going, keep it going, keep it going. The third act of that movie is like Money Mike's coming out.
Man, I think Katt Williams needed to have like some type of stock in Chrysler, because he had everybody pushing them PT Cruisers.
Yeah.
Whipping that hoe. You know what I'm saying?
You know, when you get a guy on set that has the magic, you figure out a way to just let him do his thing. Keep feeding him. Let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And don't get in his way.
Yeah.
Let him go. A lot of comedians like to work with me because I always give them a chance to
go.
This is just your chance to steal it, baby. Go for it.
We started.
So right there, again, respect to Ice Cube, a talented individual, entrepreneur, rapper, actor, producer, sports league creator. The man is again a renaissance man. But he said in a well-respected way. He said clear as day. We had Ricky Smiley audition for multiple roles. We had him play multiple roles until we found which one really, stuck on Ricky Smiley. He played Money Mike. He played the Santa Claus. He played this. He played that. Santa Claus ended up being that role for Ricky Smiley. They had Katt Williams try out for that role. He ended up doing so good with that role. They said we got to extend this. So here's the thing. Katt's like, I don't audition for no roles. I don't audition for nothing. They call me. I'm trying to talk like Katt Williams. I'm struggling with that one. They called me. Yeah. Okay, let me stop. So yes, it was an audition process for both of them. Who won playing the role? Money Mike. Katt Williams. Katt Williams obviously gassed it well overboard, but he played the role. He played the role. He succeeded in the role. Succeeded so much the fact that Ice Cube said, "Well, we need to have more scenes with Money Mike in there because it was just a small part, but it was so good and it's so legendary." Ricky Smiley did not say anything that was truthful either. He said, "Look, I initially wanted to play Money Mike. I came in to play Money Mike, and that didn't happen. I ended up being more successful with that with the Bandit role." Now I will say this: if you ask fans of the Friday After Next, excuse me, I don't have my water with me, so my my throat's a little choppy today. If you ask folks who have watched the Friday After Next film, between these two characters, who was the most popular? Everybody will say Katt Williams. I will say Katt Williams. His character was in more scenes, so you saw more of him, more TV time of him, and it was hilarious. Like, you can't not just forget about the pimp. I mean, the bad Santa role, the thief that was stealing everybody's presents, stuff like that. His role was not that well. No, he didn't have a lot of speaking roles. He didn't have a lot of roles to really show off his comedic and acting chops. In my opinion, he had very few lines, but it was just an iconic role. People will always continue to check it out. Obviously, Ricky Smiley has no shame, and didn't hurt him in the long run, because he's a highly, highly, highly successful radio personality. Now, stand up wise, he's still performing, he's still touring. Does he have the large I'm gonna say stand up career like Katt Williams? No, but people still enjoy to see Ricky Smiley on in person. He might not sell out a full arena, but best believe when he performs, people are enjoy it and they love it. Look, Ricky Smiley goes on tour with Martin Lawrence. All right. He goes on tour with the exact same folks that Katt Williams tours with. It's just Katt is always the headliner. Katt's always the main coming attraction. But I just think, the whole what Katt did again, I really don't agree with. Do I think he's a legendary comedian? Absolutely. Do I what I want? I've never seen him in person. He comes to my hometown a lot. I've never had the chance to really see him. I know his last comedy special on Netflix was a bit choppy. It was like a live special. It was a slight. It was just it wasn't. I wasn't too much into it. I'll just be honest. But again, he is an iconic person in the world of comedy, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. Moving on to our next story. Let's see here how we look on time. Let me do a quick commercial break. We come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere. What is happening, my friends? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. So, look, this came across my feed, and I'm like, let me go ahead and share this with the people. So, I am when it comes to the world of podcasting, by far one of my idols in the world of podcasting is Joe Rogan, right? He is one of the pioneers in podcasting. He changed, he changed the world of it. I mean, especially long-standing podcasts. This man records on a regular up to like 3 hours a regular every episode, man. That's insane. But it's just straightforward conversation, really nothing scripted. Just one-on-ones, having fun, smoking whiskey, bourbon, you know, you name it, having a great time. He has since then grown so much success by signing these huge exclusive contracts with Spotify. Um, and he's continued to just build up the empire on that. I mean, he recently had presidential candidate Donald Trump on, which a lot of people are saying his interview really helped push Trump in winning the election. Um, eh, I say that it was a smart strategy. I won't say it helped push him to win the election, because I think you, by the way the numbers were looking, Trump was going to win regardless. Um, he also came out the day before election day endorsing Donald Trump. I mean, and here's the thing: I give my respect to Joe Rogan as a podcaster, but I just I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but I just kind of I'm not a fan of the fact how his role was in this upcoming election. Um, I just think of what Joe Rogan always used to speak on for his show. Again, I'm a long time fan. What he used to always speak on, um, to me, is the opposite of what he's doing now. Like the whole him endorsing a presidential candidate to me is already off the wall. And then in that case, he's endorsing Donald Trump. I feel like it's against the views that he always speaks about on his show. That he shares a lot on. Um, I used to, let some of his guests slide that he's had on, because he's had on guys multiple times like Alex Jones, who I have no respect for at all. I think he's um there's this term I want to say, but I don't want to say it because it's out of character, especially here on my program. But he's had folks like him. He's had other conspiracy theorists on, and I mean, really, he's a conspiracy theorist of his in his own right. He believes in so many off the wall stuff until I'm like, okay, you're getting a little bit bizarre. And that's how I kind of started falling off with him. Not saying that, oh, everything Joe Rogan says it must be true. No, I'm not that kind of person. Um, but he's always been a very conspiracy theorist kind of dude, which I think is now starting to really take a toll, and he's starting to really go extreme with it. I mean, the fact that he endorsed Trump was like, whoa, that's now you're kissing the baby in this sense, because here's the thing: his boss, Dana White, is a surrogate to Trump. So now it's like, okay, everybody that's attached with the UFC is Trumpers now. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's interesting. But recently, Rogan called. This is another reason why I'm like, okay, Rogan really done lost his, went off his rocker. He says X is the most reliable and most popular news source in the world. Again, Joe, I don't think you're a qualified individual to say what news source is the most popular and most reliable. All right. Me personally, I don't know which news source is the most reliable. I won't call a single news outlet to say they're a reliable news source and the most popular one in the world. No. Now I can say, based on viewership numbers, that okay, a lot of people consider this or tune into this, but I won't say if they're reliable or not. Um, X is a huge platform. It has millions and billions, millions and billions and trillions of subscribers. Um, but X has leaned more right than a good portion of social media platforms. And that's a fact. All right. That's a fact. If I go on X right now, nonstop, I'm seeing, conservative, far right conservative posts. That's just a fact. That's not my algorithm. That's just what shows on X. When you have the founder and owner who is has a job working under the Trump administration. I mean, come on, what do you think he's gonna put out there? I mean, it's all silly. It is all silly. the fact that they're like, um, the reason, X is a platform for the free speech and free thinkers out there. Is it really? Is it? I mean, you embrace and you post most of the bizarre folks. You bring back folks that were banned because they were saying off the wall hate speech terminology. Now, for Rogan to continue to just I mean, when I saw the transition, I saw the transition every time you get up there and kindly make little jabs about folks on the left, as I'm gonna say 85 to 90% of the time. And then you say, the funny thing is they think I'm not liberal. That's hilarious. I've called out other folks. Yeah, like 10% of the time. Him and Russell Brand, I remember, was on there and they were laughing, saying how the left doesn't think they're liberal. I'm like, okay, just because y'all smoke weed don't make y'all liberal. Oh, okay. Like, just because you're comedians does not make y'all liberal. Like you literally you party with Tucker Carlson. Now, I'm all for, having friends of opposing views. I love that. I love having friends that I don't agree with. And I have a lot of friends that I don't agree with. But again, when you go to the extreme of a Tucker Carlson, of a Vivek Ramaswamy, of a Alex Jones, hell, even a Kid Rock, I'm like, I think you're kind of, it kind of shows. It kind of shows. I think I think Rogan, Texas is starting to really get a hold of you, buddy. Texas is really starting to get a hold of you. So let me go ahead and, I don't know why my mic keeps on moving. Let me read you this post right here. Says here, Elon thanked Joe Rogan for praising X as a reliable news source. Musk purchased Twitter in 2022 and has made several changes to it. X, along with other social media platforms, played a significant role in the 2024 United States presidential election, giving a voice to the Republican candidate Donald Trump's campaign. Now, recently, as I mentioned before, Rogan took the social media platform and praised it for being a popular and trustworthy news source. Let me explain a little more with this. In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan criticized the mainstream media for their reluctance to accept social media platforms, particularly X, as a new and reliable sources of news. He argued that the mainstream media has dismissed its own credibility through its actions, saying that you guys effed us too many times and we don't believe you anymore. So the only way for us to find out what's real and what's not real is if someone posts it online and everybody looks at it, and then you get the community note. That's way better than the New York Times telling me that Fruit Loops in Canada are exactly the same as the Fruit Loops in Canada, except for the bunch of illegal-ish that's banned and the whole point of it. Now, I get his point slightly, and that is the mainstream media, the legacy media, however you want to call it, the more corporate owned media companies, they have an agenda. And that's very true. Left and right, they have a huge agenda that they play in, and they give you a narrative that they want you to tune into. Now, one thing about social media is free range. Social media does is more from the people. You might have more independent journalists there, people that are not affiliated with anybody. You'll catch news reporters on social media that is in the heat of the moment, that is on scene, that really fact checks all this other stuff. So I get it. Social media news, as much as the older generation doesn't care to say that they're a news source. Look, social media really plays a huge role in our world news, especially for young folks. I'm a millennial. Look, I look on social media when it comes to accuracy on the news. But the thing is that a lot of the news shows, whether it's mainstream medias, they lean towards digital because they know that audience is always tuning in to see what's on their phones, especially like short length clips, short form articles explaining the stories that they spoke on TV. So I understand when he says that aspect, but again, my whole disagreement with Mr. Rogan is the fact that he will say that X is a reliable news source and the most popular. Look, that's his honest opinion, but I'll say I disagree on that. I don't think it's the most reliable nor accurate. Is it? It's extremely large platform, but it's very right leaning. So I wouldn't call that reliable. I wouldn't call it popular either. Popular doesn't mean that you have folks that leaves the platform because they consider it toxic. That's not reliable, buddy. That's not reliable. Now, yes, majority of the folks that I've seen leave it is very liberal. So again, they look at it as like, hey, look, I'm not gonna continue to see the but I've seen things, man, where people are just going here personally attacking individuals. That's not accurate, man. Like if you think that's a reliable news source, then you might as well say Instagram is a reliable news source. You might as well say um I don't know, Threads is a reliable news source. You might as well say Substack is reliable. Like you might as well say all these social media. You might as well say social media is a reliable news source. But X saying solo that X is one, I wouldn't go there, my friend. I wouldn't say that's accurate. But hey, you do you. You're successful. You're making the big bucks. Anything you say, you're starting. I'm telling you, Joe's starting to get his hand in media, and it's interesting because either him or there was another podcaster that said it would be nice if Trump can bring us in like the press rooms as far as having a have an avenue for independent journalists. Now, I think that's cool, but Joe Rogan's not an independent journalist. I'm not an independent journalist. Have people that are true journalists in that press room. Don't just have podcasters in there. That's a to me that's a disservice to the American people, in my opinion. Um, Let me go ahead, my friends. We're gonna digress and moving on. Let me look one time. Want to move on to another story. Uh let's bring it back to sports. So LiAngelo Ball is 1/3 of the trio, the Ball brothers. You have Lonzo, you have LaMelo, and then you have LiAngelo. LaMelo is the youngest. Lonzo is the oldest. Lonzo was the first one that was drafted in the NBA. At the time, I think he was drafted by the who was he drafted by? Mm, I'm forgetting which squad, but I know I think he recently plays for the Chicago Bulls now. Um, LaMelo has been with the same team since he was drafted. The Hornets, Charlotte Hornets. Um, and now you have LiAngelo, who he's had stints overseas. He's had stints in the development leagues. And here's the thing: Lonzo basically gave him his brother tough love recently on the Angel Reese podcast because LiAngelo, just recently became a father with reality star. I think Nikki Murtis, I believe her name. She's a star from the Love and Hip Hop of LA franchise, and huge age gap by the way. But I'm not going to go into that. But but he recently became a father, and Lonzo being the oldest, he was being upfront with his brother on his career. And so here, let me go ahead and play this soundbite, and then we'll talk a little bit on the other side.
Overseas,
Yeah, I know. You shot
You
him
don't
all
want him
down.
overseas?
I wanted him to go overseas.
If
He
I
didn't
had-
want to go overseas.
No, I do though. If I had a right setup, I'm going. Like I had to.
So if
see
you get
my
the right
options
call
open.
right now, like you going?
No, because I gotta wait on the. I'm gonna wait a little longer for the G League, bro. I got levels
Okay, what's
to
the
this shit.
timeline right now?
Timeline. Damn.
Like, he don't know.
I
You
do know,
26,
but
you
this
still-
stuff like I think about, bro. Like it's not just quick thoughts. Like yeah, I sit down, like what I'm about to do. You feel me? Because
I hear
that's
you, bro.
that's that.
I feel like you can play overseas and you can get
He
to
would
the
Yeah, I
kill
can
over
play.
there.
Man, I might,
and you get
I might.
overseas, get to the G League, and you're gonna play with your brother. Y'all all three, y'all can play on the same team one day. That'd be legendary.
What if I could just get to the G though? I feel like I'm cool.
I don't really know. In the NBA, how does that work? Like,
That's what
He
I'm
doesn't
saying.
have
I
no
feel like the
hope.
opportunity is not going to be the same in the G League for him. It's because of his process and how long it's been. You know, just
And
being
I
realistic.
feel like
I'm his big brother. I got to tell him the truth.
I
You know what I'm
understand
saying?
that.
I think his path is overseas. Should have been overseas
that's
killing.
fair enough too. Overseas is nice, but look, I feel like if I go to the G League, I'm gonna carry myself. Like I only need a shot, bro. If they give me the shot, I feel like I'm gonna do my thing. I ain't
But
never
look,
messed up like
This
that.
the problem I have. I feel like you got your shot in the summer league with the
When?
Hornets.
you
And I
played
was
this? You played
cooking
this year?
and
This
got
past
sent
year?
to the G.
When he had played.
When was the last time you
What
played?
year was that?
2022
2022.
with the Hornets.
Yes.
Was Melo on the team?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, he was, but it was a summer league.
Okay,
though,
so he
it was
wasn't.
just
Y'all
him.
weren't playing together.
Exactly.
I played
he was
some
killing.
practices with him and was doing my thing. I'm
Okay.
not gonna lie.
But you was killing.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, you got your shot and you capitalized, and how that don't translate
And
into
still
that.
got sent to the G.
And didn't play.
I was at my fault.
So you didn't
bro.
play in the G?
It's like
No.
here and there.
But I heard you can like average like 20, 25, 30 in
Yeah,
the
you
G and
could,
still not like get out the G.
I played a game, had like close to 30, had 28 or something, and then I sat out like 10 games right after.
Let
Like
me
that's
ask
how
you this.
my
You a hooper.
That's how
Okay.
my G League was
Let me
going.
ask.
You gonna
Let me
sit
hear.
in the G on the bench, or you gonna go overseas to somewhere nice
I'm not
and
gonna
go
lie
get
to you.
30?
Let me see. For me, I'm too scared to go overseas.
For real.
Yeah.
It's a lot of other stuff, bro. Like you
Shit seem
leaving
like a better
all that
life
It
over
shit.
seems
there.
scary over there.
But
And
you
you're gonna be by yourself. I mean, you probably bring your family
Cool,
with you.
like, but it's a change though, for real.
He a
It's a
That
homebody
is.
anyway. He don't do
You
nothing.
don't seem like a homebody.
He a homebody.
Get calls overseas.
Yeah,
Like,
I know,
could
and you
leave
shot
tomorrow.
You don't
all
want him
down.
overseas?
I wanted him to go.
So you see the dialogue happening. So you see Lonzo mainly saying he needs to go overseas, and that is his career is over. His path is overseas. Angel Reese is saying, well, look, she hears what Leandro's saying. He's like, look, I've scored big points over in overseas games. I've scored big points in the G League game. I'm really waiting for the true opportunity to be in the G League that can give me a stronger path to the NBA. He's saying, bump right now, focusing strictly on the overseas. I'm trying to get the success in the G that can give me a closer path to the NBA. Lonzo saying you've had that chance in the developmental league, in the G League, and where has that taken you? Right? Where has that gone? Nowhere, right? Nowhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. So he's like this. He's saying that because you had the opportunity in 2022 in the G League, you were on the bench in the G League, that right there was your chance. And yeah, they, enough said. Enough said. They said where your career is going with, you can just keep it overseas and just succeed over there. Now, Angel Reese brings up the thing saying, well, look, there's people that score 20 something 30 points in the G League game still hasn't made it in the NBA, and that's very true. I've watched some G League games, and they've scored crazy amount of points and still yet have had that opportunity in the NBA. All right, I think at this level, LiAngelo is just trying to succeed and be on an active roster in the NBA. He's not trying to get a lot of playing time. He's just trying to get a position, get an opportunity, get that huge pay increase. You know what I mean? LiAngelo is just 26 years old. still very young. Lonzo's like you blew your chance. I don't think it's there anymore. But I think that he should never give up on that dream. I mean, 6'5", 230, still a great average size for a small forward and a shooting guard. Like I said, 26 years old, still very young, which is a good thing. But I think he needs to really. He has until he can't be doing the same pattern at 28. I'll be honest. I don't think he can't do that pattern at 28. Hell, maybe he can't even do it in 27. But he has been he can easily go overseas. He's still a ball brother till this, from at the end of the day. He's a former reality star because him and his family had a reality show some years ago, I think on like Facebook Watch. His the mother of his child is a reality star. Maybe they can start a reality show or something. He can find a way to make money. He has over 1 million followers on Instagram. There's multiple ways he can make the honest income, but he's talking about that career path and that dream on pushing forward. And let me just give you a little bit about LiAngelo's stats. So he started his career in 2008. He was undrafted. 2018. 2018. He was undrafted. He played for a professional team in Lithuania. He played with a club out in Lithuania in the basketball league for a year. Played 1 year but then that same year with the Los Angeles Ballers, which is a junior basketball league. Yeah, Junior Basketball Association. It's a junior basketball team, a league created for high school and junior college players as an alternative to the NCAA. It was literally like it started in 2018 and dissolved in 2018. So it's a very short-lived basketball league. Let's see, he played for a G League squad he played for about I think he played for about 2 or 3 seasons for the Greensboro Swarm, which is a league under the Charlotte Hornets, and then recently he's played professional basketball in the Mexican basketball team. So his career is very choppy, I'll be honest, but he still's competing. That's the one thing. He's not giving up. He's still training. He has, I think, great competition because his brother LaMelo is a very successful basketball player. LaMelo is just 23 years old. He plays for the Hornets. 6'7", much taller, great handler, but he has great competition as far as who he competes against. But I'm just looking at the oldest is 27, and who was he drafted before I move forward? He was drafted by the Lakers. Okay. He's played for the Lakers, the Pelicans, and now the Bulls. So I still think that I still at the end of the day I think he shouldn't give up on his dream. I know it's a difficult process, especially for professional athletes in all sports, to try and get that chance to play professional and play in that high in the highest league and on the competitive level. But I think at the end of the day, you will still hear from him. You will still be in the public eye. I think that Lonzo, what he provided to his brother was factual. But hopefully LiAngelo can prove him wrong. Again, it's a new form of motivation now. He's a family man. He's a father now. He has he has his lady is already she only wants to be with men at a high dollar rate. Let's just be honest. So he's now like saying, "Oh, I gotta really up my game because I gotta compete with these other high price fellas out here and stuff." So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. What's your take, guys? What do you think? Do you think that you can still be successful? You can succeed by just keeping it overseas, or and here's another thing too. Overseas is nice, but again, he's a family man. Maybe he wants to be closer to family. Maybe he doesn't want to be in another country throughout his whole entire career. You ever think about that? Maybe he wants to play closer and to be in the lights where his family can see him on a regular instead of playing overseas. That's how I look at things. Um, there's so many competitive levels when it comes to basketball, which I'm glad that they do provide a lot of opportunities for guys to play on a high level. But maybe he can continue to pursue the G League. He's already played there at least close to three, almost close to 3 seasons in a row. So I just think it never would have worked out with the Hornets because there were 2 brothers on the same squad. And you don't want people to start showing the favoritism thing and all that stuff. It's like, oh, you just on there because it's your brother. Like, I think other teams should start checking out LiAngelo. Their father, LeVar Ball, has been pretty quiet, which is a good thing because I remember when they all started their careers, he was the main voice for all 3 of them. He was the vocal piece of their start of their success, which, hey, I'm not mad at him. He was like the male version. He was their Kris Jenner. He bragged about their kids. He bragged about his kids. He started their careers in the public eye, not before they were even playing professional basketball. I'm not mad at him at all on the, where that led their career at, because they have truly made a name for themselves. But it's funny because once they've entered into the league, father's been quiet. They're not talkative people. I know Lonzo has struggled with injuries. LaMelo has been doing good. He's really like their franchise player for the Hornets. So they're, they're going to be doing good. They're going to be doing good. I'm just, hoping and praying that LiAngelo gets an opportunity and that the rest will be history from there. But until next time, my friends, we're coming to it's about that time. Want to thank you all for continuing to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to tune in Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, as well as WDJYFM.com. You can also tune in weeknights on our YouTube channel, our Smooth Club Media, as well as on Rumble and wherever you listen to your podcast. So y'all take care. God bless. I'll see you next time for another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace. I'm out.